Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mr. Fred and Friends. I'm your host, Fred Schultz, and I got to tell you, we got some pretty interesting stuff tonight. We have got the guys from way down under. We have Mr. Peter Martin from the Australian Paintball Association, and hopefully we will have Mr. Brian DeHare on. He had something going on, so we'll see what happens. And but you know, if Brian doesn't make it, Peter's here, and Peter's going to tell us everything about the Australian Paintball Association, which I'm very, very interested in hearing about, to be honest with you. Also, I'm going to have my buddy, Mr. Connor Bryant, on. Connor is the one that actually hooked me up with all of this, and I met Connor on Steve McGuire's show, which Steve McGuire is going to be on again tonight. We're going to ask Steve a few questions because he was at the ICC, so it was pretty cool. And I am just, it should be pretty fun night. It really should. So I'm looking forward to it. I want to say real quick, right off the bat, man, Bonchick, good evening to you, dear. And hey, Ryan Courtney, all the time. Right on, buddy. Very, very glad you guys are watching this evening. So anyhow, you know, I got a couple of things I want to mention. I'm going to give my shout outs real quick because I know the minute I pull Steve up, Steve's going to go, oh my God, your monologue's way too long. You know, if I said, hi, I'm Fred, I think that's going to be too long for Steve. You know, Steve likes it short and sweet, you know, but I guess that's what it is. So, but a couple of things I want to mention real quick. You know, actually what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to pull up my co-host, Mr. William Bailey. Hey, Billy, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good. How you doing, Fred?
I was waiting to take a bite of a cookie or something, then I was going to pull you up, but well, it is what it is.
I'll take a drink of Dr. Pepper instead.
Oh, there you go. All right. Okay. Hey, and it looks like we might have Mr. Brian DeHare on. I see he's trying to pull up, and his nickname is Bones, everybody. So if we did get him on and you hear me say Bones, you know, I'm not talking about anything weird. It's and I see him, he's pulling up, so outstanding. We're going to have Mr. Brian DeHare. Mr. Brian DeHare is the president of the Australian Paintball Association, and Mr. Peter Martin is the vice president. So, hey, Billy, what more could you have but the president and the vice president on? You know?
That's about it.
I mean, my God, I'm almost dizzy. It's so cool. You know, yeah. But anyhow, you know, there's a couple of things I want to mention real quick. You know, now I'm going to butcher this guy's name, but you know, he understands it and he knows who I am. Freddy Lalapitan, he runs the PBSL down in Southern California, guys, and they're having their what they call the 10K. It's going to be a big tournament, October 16th, down there at Combat Paintball, and the 10K stands for you have 10 guys on the team, 7 have to use pumps, and 3 can use mechanical. So, you know, if you get a chance down there, you're gonna want to go check that out. Freddy's a great guy. Freddy's worked really, really hard for the PBSL and has just taken over the stewardship of the PBSL. So it's pretty cool. You get a chance, you want to go to Combat Zone, and it's going to be, oh, when the heck is that? October 16th, and you're going to want to check it out. Even if you don't want to go play, go check out the format with the cards and everything. That you're going to absolutely love it. It's really, really good. And then when Billy and I are very excited to go to the Monte Casino game.
Oh yeah,
that's
getting
right.
closer.
Yeah. Oh man, I got to tell you, I'm excited as heck. You know, it's going to be the September 11th and 12th. Billy, you tell us a little bit about where's it at?
It's at paintballtogo.com. It's Rude House, Illinois. Yeah, it's coming up. Me and Hal's actually going out there this weekend. We're going to do some work on the field and get some props and everything ready. And you know.
Yeah, because the way I understand it, you don't even play. I'm coming all the way out there. Well, you know, you got Bud Orr as one general, and you got Dan Colby as the other general. So, you know, I'm probably going to play on one team one day and one team the next day because they're both my very good friends. So, but you're not even going to play, man. You're going to
I help run it.
The shot. Yeah, you help run it, huh?
Yep. Yeah, I do all the secondary missions and all the props, and I add up all the scores and everything, you know, to make sure everything flows good. And yeah, it's one of our old games from our old World War II Tour Duty series that we used to put on all over, you know, We used to go to Nebraska, Illinois, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and
Wow,
set up the
very
games.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that should be pretty good. As a matter of fact, Eric Parks just jumped in and said, hello, Bill.
Yep. Hey, Eric.
Yeah, I told you had one friend, didn't I? There he is. There he is, Eric Parks. Hey, you got two. I'm your buddy, too. And, well, 2.5, because you can count Steve when you're not teasing him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So, but let me give my shout outs here real quick. First of all, I want to congratulate Jennifer and Frank Montresor. They had the ICC this last weekend, and I guess it went off just great. I guess Infamous won it, and I guess it was a great tournament. I wish I could have got to it, but you just can't do everything. But next year should be cool. Facebook user, God, I wish you guys have your names. Billy, you should look on your phone. You could tell. Somebody said Monte Casino 2021 is great. I cannot wait. And plus, I got my new Vulcan tent coming there too. That Bill offered to set up for me, huh?
It's Carl Owens.
Oh, Carl Owens. Hey, Carl, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, that's pretty cool. You offered to set up my big tent that I got coming. Or maybe I misinterpreted that, huh?
Yeah. So get there and it'll be sorry, it never showed up.
Yeah.
I don't know where's that.
Yeah. Well, you're counting your money.
Yeah. Joe's got the coolest respawn area down on the other side of the field. It's amazing. It says Vulcan right on it.
I love it. Real quick, I'm going to give my shout out so I can bring these guys up here. I always start with Tim Schloss. Tim Schloss, a friend and a sponsor, had Tiger Stripe Camouflage, now has Gateway Paintball in St. Louis. Terrific field. If you get a chance, you're going to want to go check it out. Bud and Bill went there a few months ago. Said they absolutely loved it. He's got Lear jets out there now. He's got a bus, a yacht. I don't know what the hell else he's going to bring out there, but an ambulance. That's right. So anyhow, Mr. Tim Schloss, great person. And Mr. Dan and John Colby, Immortal Air, right here it is. Dan has been my sponsor when it was Air America. Now it's switched over to Immortal Air. It's been my sponsor for 31 years, everybody. So I've been with Immortal Air for a long time. Mr. Bud Orr. Hey, Bud, how you doing? Mr. Bud Orr is watching everybody right now. Bud watches us every week. I love the guy. That's about all I can say. He's like a brother. He's just a terrific person.
He's pretty bad off right now. He's having to sit outside next to the pool.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's got it rough. Oh, you ever see the little house he's in? Oh, I feel so sorry for that poor guy. I mean, I walked from one side of his house to the other and got tired. I had to sit down halfway across. I mean, jeez. And then he goes, "You didn't see it all, Fred." I go, "I know, bud." So, but anyhow,
just take the bus.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I tried to get him to buy me one on Treadways, but he wouldn't go for it. And what's really funny is now Bud Orr name comes up. He's the third on the list that I always say hi to. Yeah. But I'm going to give a shout out to Bud Orr anyhow. Bud has done so much for paintball over the years. Everybody knows him. War Game Products, inventor of the autococker. A terrific friend of mine. What's that?
Also the Commander, the Ranger, hoppers, goggle systems.
Oh, tons of stuff. Yeah.
Tons of stuff.
Bud's a great person. And I'm glad he's watching tonight because, he's going to like Brian and Peter. He already knows Connor. But he's going to like Brian and Peter. These guys are going to be pretty cool. So real quick. And then Tom Kay was my sponsor for years, Automag, a terrific guy, and part of the band, which is a special team that we have. And we have a lot of fun. And what more could you ask for being on the band, huh, Billy?
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
Oh, my God. If you're anybody, you're on the band. Cool.
I was talking to some guys from St. Louis today because they were talking about 10-man mechanical and everything. And I told them, I said, yeah, we put together a small team. We went up and played the World Cup in New York.
Yeah. Dan Kobe, Rainy Boucher.
Yeah,
speaking of Rainy Boucher, Rainy and Juby Boucher, which is also on the band, they had Paintball News back in the day. And Paintball News was a paper they put out 2 times a month, and it was free. They'd send them all the way across the U.S., everywhere to all the fields. It was free. You found out what was going on, what happened, where all the fields were, all the news, the new products, everything didn't cost the players a penny. I got to tell you, when that paper finally stopped going out, it broke my heart because they were just absolutely terrific. That's about all I can say about them. They were absolutely terrific. Mr. Rainey and Juby Boucher. And then Randy Camilla was the APG editor. Gave me my very first cover shot, first of many. Appreciated that so much. Mr. Jerry Braun had Paintball Sport magazine back in the day. Jerry has the field that we played the Woodsball World Cup at. And it was terrific. What do you think, Billy? Was it good? Oh, Billy's in thought now. I like that.
Yeah, no,
that's a new look for you. That's cool.
I was quiet for a moment.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, that's what my wife wishes of me. But you know, it is what it is. And then I have to say hi to Mr. Ross Alexander. Ross Alexander started everything with Line SI. I actually had my very first paintball marker, which was a Bushmaster, that I played my very first tournament in, and that was at Mr. Jim Lively's, the Masters. My first major tournament was at Jim Lively's. He had the Masters down in Tennessee. It was absolutely terrific. There was two things you wanted to do back in the day. You wanted to go to Jerry Braun's World Cup, and you wanted to go to Jim Lively's Masters. They were great. Kathy Alvarez just jumped in. How you doing, sweetie? Good seeing you up here tonight. And then I have to say hi to Gino from Velkin. Gino's been a friend of mine for a long, long time, and I mention him every week, and not because he has this huge store and you know, he's like worldwide with everything. The guy does so much for paintball, and nobody ever talks about it, you know, so I have to mention that every week because I'm privileged to be behind the scenes on all of this stuff, and I see what this guy does, and 99% of the paintball players out there don't see what he really contributes to the sport of paintball. So I just have to bring him up. And him and his daughter are both doing fine. He had a little girl, Eugenia, and he just had her about 2 weeks ago. And 3 days after they had her, she had heart operation. So she's doing real good right now. And, you know, all our prayers are out for him. And then Gino had an operation too. And he's doing real well too. So, you know, Godspeed to both of them. Gino watches us live sometimes, you know, he's an older guy, so sometimes he can't watch it live. He'll get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and watch the damn show. It just amazes me. You know, 5 o'clock in the morning, all I want to see is the inside of my eyelids. But, you know, it is what it is. So, you know what, Billy? What do you say we drag out these two guys? We're going to bring Connor and Steve on in a little while. But first, I want to bring up Mr. Brian Bones DeHare. How are you doing this evening, my man?
Good, thank you.
Oh, we're very, very happy that you could make it on here tonight.
Yeah,
Brian.
sorry, I'm sitting in my car at the moment. I had rehab for my knee, and I just finished at 12 and sort of run out to the car.
Oh, no problem. I'm actually in the bathroom right now, so it works out.
Jeez, it's on a bathroom like that.
Yeah, if you hear a flushing noise, you know.
So what it's not echoing.
Yeah. It's a very small bathroom. Bill calls them porta potties. I don't know. Yeah. All right. What do you say we bring up your vice president, Mr. Peter Martin? How you doing this evening, Peter?
I'm doing very well. But you've mentioned toilets. Now I know it looks like I'm in a toilet. There's a towel rail right here, and there's a mirror behind me. I'm really not. My office is an old 1956 train carriage, and so these are the old sleeping compartments which have turned into an office. So I'm not actually talking to you from my toilet, I promise.
Yeah, it looks
excellent. How cool is that? That's very cool. Well, you know what? I got to tell you guys, we're extremely happy to have you two on tonight. We know that you guys you run the Australian Paintball Association. And we'd just like to hear a little bit of your stories about your organization and, you know, what it has taken you guys to get to this point and where do you expect to go in the future? So I'm going to start with you, Brian.
Yep.
Bones. I'll call you Bones from here on in. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Because that's what Connor says everybody calls you too.
Yeah. Even my mother-in-law calls me Bones.
Oh, is that right? Oh, you should hear what they call me. I can't put it on the air, but, you know. Yeah.
Green room.
Yeah. So Bones, let's start with you. Why don't you tell us exactly, you know, how long have you been in paintball and how did you get involved in it?
I've been in paintball for 31 years. That's playing continuously. So I'm still playing, well, I suppose you could call the top level over here, even though I'm sort of not at that level, but I still sort of put myself into it. I started playing, I heard about paintball, 31 years ago, and I thought it'd be fantastic to go and play. So I organised one through work. So where I worked in a steel factory, we had a social club. And so we do raffles every week and everything. So I talked them into paying for half the day out of the social funds. So I got about 40 people to come out the first time. And it was great. Like everyone had a great time. And then it's sort of every 3 months I tried to organise it, and it just dwindled down to, 20 and 10. And then it ended up there was about 5 of us that used to just keep going out. And then it rained once and I was the only one who turned up, and that's sort of how I just kept on going. So, yeah.
Well, but then you started this organization, am I correct?
Yeah. Myself and my wife, yes.
Okay. Oh, did she do most of the work, or did you do it?
Oh, she does a huge amount of work, a lot more in the back scenes work than what I do, that's for sure.
See, I do all the work around here too, and I can say that because my wife's in the other room. So, otherwise, she did it all. She did it all. Okay. Yeah. So, Peter, let me jump over to you real quick here. I'm going to go back to both of you guys because I want to hear about your association and everything. But how did you get started in paintball, buddy?
I started paintball back in 1989 in England, and I was watching your interview, one of your interviews the other day about the complete history of paintball, and pretty much the same as yourself. It was one of those sites that just had the splat masters and the 10-shot tube in the side of it, and as most people and probably most of the people listen to this show, it's one of those things, the first time you play paintball and you're hooked. And then that went through, and obviously I opened a small paintball field with a friend of mine, Dave Hall, and then we got into the paintball tournaments, and then started, over the years, then got into the Millennium Series and played the Millennium Series for, I think, 5 or 6 years running. And it was that time, and again, I lead back to the interview I saw from you the other day. It was back when the time where it was, you turned up to different countries, different parts of the world, and there was your mates, there was your mates from America, and there was your mates from Portugal, and there was mates from, Amsterdam. It was just amazing. And this was the time you mentioned Jerry Braun, when Jerry Braun was, traveling the world with Ground Zero. And so we used to see Jerry a lot when he was coaching those guys, and it was just an amazing time. And then went from there, I moved to Norway and worked for a company called Sniper Paintball in Norway, and then moved to Australia about 10 years ago. And again, just been constantly playing. So the career's been, the paintball career's been long for sure. Bones has been nagging me to join the APA for many, many years, and I've resisted for many, many years. But I joined the committee about 18 months ago now. The reason being is I think, again, with all just listening to all the names and listening to Buddles, listening, hi guy, and all of the people here, paintball has given me so much. So many amazing memories and so many stories that we can all do waffle on for hours about. And I really, as corny as it sounds, I think it's about time that I started trying to give something back to paintball, which is why I've joined Bones on our crusade.
Well, you mentioned you were in England in 1989. I was over there early. Matter of fact, the first time I went to England, I don't know if you knew Paul Wilson.
Yes, not personally, but yeah, obviously know of him for sure.
Yeah. Paul Wilson was court magistrate. He was a personal friend of mine. Anyhow, we went over there, and the very first time we played paintball over there, I could tell you, I'd take 10 hours to tell you about the whole thing. But anyhow, we played on an old abandoned airfield over there. And while we were playing, the police the bobbies or police bobbies, whatever you call them, they came over there, and because, it was still illegal there. But thank God we had Paul Wilson with us, and he kind of talked him out of it. But, that was the first time I was over there, and that was in the 80s also. And then did you ever go to any of the Mayhem tournaments that were there?
We played the later Mayhem tournaments when they were sup air and that sort of stuff. And as kids as it was then, we went and watched a few for sure. But yeah, I remember the tournaments that you were talking about the other day when I think paint was £300 a box back there.
You're right as rain too. Yeah, right as rain. But yeah, I was one of the first head refs over there at the Mayhem tournament. And I have a lot of friends over. You remember Bart Stud Squad or the Non-Wrecking Crew, or the Predators, with Marcus.
And played them all. Yeah, Played them all, yeah, for sure.
All them guys, we go way back when they all first started. So that's pretty funny to hear that you started back there in England. That's pretty cool, actually.
Look, and I think one of the great things is, I don't know whether you've been following it, but all of those guys have now, in the last couple of years, got back into it. They've been playing the Woodsball scene, and Marcus Davis is still running the Predators and that sort of stuff. He's not quite as big and muscly as he used to be, but he's still a formidable character, that's for sure. And
he absolutely is.
I went back a couple of years back and managed to, on a holiday with the family, but managed to be there at one of the times of the push ball. And so I guested for the Turks. But all of those guys were there. And again, it was just one of those things. Haven't seen them for 15 years, some of them, but just everyone was there. Phil Ham was there and just came down for the day. And it was just an amazing, amazing day. It was great fun. Great fun. Good to see them all back in it too.
Yeah, that's very cool. Bud Orr said that's awesome, Peter. You guys know Bud Orr now, am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You sort of heard the name around the traps a little bit.
I love the guy. I still follow him. Damn it.
Pete, I don't know if you've seen, but Pete Russell said hi.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I pull it up on my screen. I can see Bud's name. I can see, I've got Bond Girl, Kathy Alvarez, everybody else's Facebook user.
There you go. So, because Pete Russell, obviously.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pete Russell's a big scene in, there you go, a big character and big name in Australia. Now obviously runs a paintball field in Palmetto. Did I pronounce that right? Palmetto Hills. But still supporting Australian paintball. At the end of only a few weeks ago, he's donated some prize money to one of the local events over here. So very cool guy, Paintball Pete.
Very good. If you're going to butcher a name, this is a show to do it on because I'm a pro.
I ran into Pete at Oklahoma D-Day about a month and a half or so ago, and we got to talking about Connor. And I said, "Hey, let me call him." And he goes, "Oh, he won't answer. It's freaking 2 a.m. in the morning here." He ain't gonna answer. Connor, I woke him up. He's like, "What?"
No, he sounds like that all the time.
That's how Bill is. So we're going to bring Connor and Mr. Steve McGuire up here in just a little bit. But Bones, I'm going to go back to you. What made you start the Australian Paintball Association? What gave you the mindset of something you wanted to do?
Well, we were still playing bush ball at the time, and we just all the field operators had sort of had enough at running the tournaments. They were happy to have the tournaments at their field, but they didn't want to run them anymore. So basically, they all stepped back, and so we had nothing, no tournaments to go to or anything. So my wife and I sort of started it, and we had one person from every team on the committee, which was great because all the teams had input. Like there was probably 16 teams at that point, which is small compared to the States, obviously, but that's quite a few teams for over here. And then we started organising the tournaments up the Queensland coast. So we had 4 usually. We'd have one in Brisbane, one in Gympie, which is about 3 hours out, one in where's Bundaberg, which is about 5 hours out, and one in Rockhampton, which is about 8 hours drive. That's why we started it, to do that, just so we had, the players had somewhere to go and play.
Got it. Real quick, Dan Colby, he owns Immortal Air. Used to be Air America back in the day. Danny's watching us right now. Danny, very, very good friend. Like him and Bud, you just can't beat those two guys. They're about the best out there. Isn't that right, Billy?
Yep. You can't beat them.
Yeah. Yep.
It's sort of listening to all the names. It makes the hair stand up on your arm. Seriously, because you talk about the legends that are listening. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, then we got to talk about them more because I could use a little more hair standing up. I'm not going to get in that. The glare's not bad, is it? Okay.
If we're mentioning hair, Fred, I have to mention in that montage of yours that I think it was a moustache that you used to have when you were younger, but it's definitely questionable as facial hair.
I got you. You know what happened was my magic marker went weak when I was putting it on. It just didn't pan out. So Peter, I know you work with Bones right now, and I know you guys have a great organization. How many people do you have in the organization right now? Do you know?
The organisation itself is we've sort of turned a corner in the last sort of 18 months. As Bones said, it was originally started for an organisation to run sort of paintball events and that sort of stuff. We restructured, I don't know, restructured, but we looked at things about 18 months ago and decided that we need to be looking at it from more of a broad perspective, more from a sport perspective. I mean, Bones over the years has been running the APA and brilliantly and helping out sort of individual players or teams or particular sites and that sort of stuff, and has done it extremely well and helped lots of people. But I think now when we're really looking to grow the sport and get a lot more players into it. And I hate saying grow the sport because it almost seems like a cliche, but that's the whole idea. And so we need to look at things from a broader perspective. And so we're looking now, into things like looking at the challenges, I suppose, that paintball has in Australia, and what we need to do to get the younger players into the sport. One of the things, and I said just now that the great shout out about talking about all the old players and all the old organisers and business owners that are sitting here. One of the problems we've got in Australia is it's amazing to still be able to play paintball, but we're still playing paintball against the guys we were playing paintball against, 10, 12, 15 years ago. What we're lacking here in Australia is bringing those new kids into the sport and bringing them up and through. And so we've got to look at the challenges of why that is, and obviously start to overcome those.
Well, because once you bring them in, they're gonna absolutely love playing a sport. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Back in the day, when all the names I mentioned here, when we all started out, paintball, it was very rough to sell paintball here in the States. Everybody kept coming up with the war games and all this crap, and you're out there killing people and stuff like that, and it was nothing like that. Yeah. And when I did a show back in the day on ESPN, it was a #1 show on ESPN, and I shot it on the actual Disney site. I didn't shoot it on the grass. I shot it on New York Street at Disney. And after we did that, before we did it, the guys at ESPN go, well, we don't know, Freddy, it's kind of touchy, but once I brought Disney into it, it was a go. And then they called me up after the show aired the first time and said it was the #1 show for the entire weekend on ESPN2. So what it did was it brought, and then I got all calls from all kinds of people across the U.S. that own fields telling me, oh my God, we got all kinds of new people coming out and wanting to try it now. So, where you guys are, it might do some kind of publicity thing or something to bring them out, or have some kind of special day where you put an ad or something, maybe in some of the bigger papers around there, to come out and give it a try. And, what you can do is maybe just invest in a case of paintballs and just let each kid shoot, 100 balls or something if they come out at targets or something. Just something to maybe push it a little bit to get them involved in it.
It's funny you mentioned that, Fred. No, not at all. Look, and it's funny you mentioned that. I mean, obviously, the Disney event that you had running, it wasn't just talked about in America, it was talked about around the world, and we were talking about it in the UK. So, yeah, it was very, very successful. And that's exactly what we're trying, or exactly what we are organising now. We've been speaking to a couple of the local councils, and they're keen for us to put on events, and rather than putting them at the paintball fields generally, which are generally quite a few kilometers out of the cities and that sort of stuff, we're looking at venues where we can have it, in the center of town or in parks in the center of town, which has been done before, and it's been done very successfully. But we think it's now that we've got to start pushing that, and not just doing the one event and having that then televised, but doing the other events as well. And I think it's a lot easier now to get the message out there. Because of Facebook and social media and that sort of stuff, we'll be able to spread it across. I mean, one of the challenges that we have in Australia still, although it's getting better, with getting young people into the sport, as you're probably aware, that paintball markers are still classed as firearms here in Australia. So unreal. You still need to get a firearms license in order to own one. One of the main players in Australia, Michael Wybrew, who basically runs Action Paintball down in New South Wales. He's done an amazing job over the last few years and managed to get their laws changed so they're not recognised as firearms down in New South Wales. And that's one of the big pushes that the APA are working on and trying to do, is obviously try and get that on a national level, and that will really, really help.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, you just says that you have to have a license to have a paintball gun. Okay. Sure. Okay. Can you own more than one paintball marker?
Yes.
Okay, well, why? And if somebody came out, say a kid comes out, you guys put an ad, let's say, and a kid comes out and wants to try it, can he legally take that marker and try it?
No, unfortunately, then because they're classed as Category A firearms, in order to use a marker or a paintball gun, you have to be at a registered field, and that field needs a gallery shooting license, just like a rifle range would. So that
if
is
he comes
one
out
of
to
the
the local field, yes, he can use the marker on the field.
That's what I'm talking about. Is that
Yeah.
So if you had rental markers and you had them, say the field has them in their name, then that would maybe bring kids out to try it out, and then that might lead to them going and actually have the forms there. If they go, God, I want to get into this, man, what can I do? You actually hand them a form, say you have to fill this out, go through this, and this, and eventually you'll get a license that you can have your own paintball marker.
Absolutely. Look, and that's the way it's going. And when I mentioned New South Wales and Mike Wybury, that he was talking about now that the laws have changed to 12-year-olds and that they don't need a license, when talking to himself and his partner, John, that they've got lots of kids' parties and that sort of stuff happening now. And that's just in that one particular state. And so we need to then obviously develop that to all the states in Australia. And then that will then start to feed the player base that we are so desperate to have.
Well, another things too, Bones, is when you guys have an event at your fields. I don't know how many fields you have there, but if you have an event there, you need to get a hold of any local television place and invite one of the people that work at that place out to try it out. And what happens when you do that is you'll get the free publicity, and that's what would lead. I believe anyhow, that's how I used to do stuff. Is I'd go do something and I'd get a hold of the television company and go, hey, if you're at this place at this time, you're going to see something cool and we'll let you try it out. And, once they come and they try it out, then, you'd have to be pretty damn weird not to like paintball. That's all there is to it. Not that they're not out there, because they are, but, and it's the truth. But if you take and you do that, you get a hold of the, and you're going to get some no's. That's automatic. That just happens. But just keep trying and trying, and eventually, once you get a couple of people out there, or even one person from a television company, and they broadcast it, they go, wow, this is what I did. And it'll only be like maybe a 30-second segment or something like that. But what that does is it not only sends a message to the people that are actually watching that 30-second segment, it sends a message to the other television and radio shows that, hey, these guys did it. We need to jump on board. We need to get on board with this too. And that's how you get that stuff snowballing.
Yeah, absolutely. And didn't Nick Sloviak just do something recently with I think it was an influencer online, and they've just released a video where they did, they brought this influencer in and played paintball, and they spent 2 days training to then play a couple of 3-man games on one of the field with the Ironman players. So and those sort of things, you're absolutely right, Fred. It would work brilliant, and that's the sort of thing we got to work at.
Exactly. And Bones, what I'm getting at is it's free publicity. It's free, and it doesn't even have to be a television show. Find a radio station around there that I don't know, plays whatever kids like. I'm not going to get into that because then nobody will watch my show. But anyhow, play whatever kids like, and call the disc jockeys up and have them come down there. Now, we did a big game in St. Louis years ago, and the disc jockeys came out and played, and the disc jockeys actually invited us down to the television place, and Tom Kay, he owned Airgun Designs. Tommy and I went down there, and they let us take over the radio station for about 20 minutes, man. It was just cool. And they came out and played paintball, and that is all they talked about every night for a week on their show was the fun they'd have. So, that's how you get the free promotion for stuff like you guys got going. And all it takes is phone calls. Call these people up and go, hey, we would love to have you come out and check this out. And set up an appointment, have them come out for a few minutes and try it out. Just make sure you have a marker there and goggles and targets. They don't have to go shoot at each other, but just let them go out there and shoot it and see the fun that they could have doing it. And then have them talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Great. Yeah.
Do any of the cities there have a recreational field owned by the city?
No. There is no public land in Australia for paintball at all.
Right. And see, that's, I was talking to Connor, and that's a big thing Billy. These guys are fighting, like we did to start with when paintball started. It was all uphill battle.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I mean, and anybody that plays paintball now, they never seen the crap we went through back in the day. And you guys are going through that right now. Although we didn't have to register our paintball markers. That was kind of over.
Yeah, every once in a while, I hear of cities that have park and recs, and they actually have a spot for paintball, and it's a big revenue for the city. They've always done very well with it.
Well, they have fields over there, though. If they got a hold of the disc jockeys, like I say, you want to go to the places that the kids listen to. I love all kinds of music, but you're not going to get a lot of country and western guys out there. So what you want to do is you want to find where to.
I want to see Kenny Rogers play paintball.
Yeah, there you go. I love all music. I love country western too. So
I think he's dead. That'd be kind of weird.
I would come out there. Yeah, that's why it would be hard to take out, Bill.
Just go through all the bones.
Yeah. So anyhow, it's just some ideas I was throwing out to you guys. I just think that take them out to a regular field. I'm sorry, Bill. Go ahead.
You know what Kenny Rogers would be doing right now if he was alive?
Playing paintball.
Let me out of here!
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And so the show comes off the rails.
Yeah.
We're done.
Well, don't worry. If we all get together, it's going to happen a lot.
Well, I definitely want to help you guys any way I can. If there's anybody I could write to or talk to over there, I'd be happy to make some kind of presentation. For you guys, because and paintball, it's a lot of different facets. For 2 years I trained the squads, the police and the riot squads and everybody for San Francisco and Oakland and Richmond. I did that for 2 years. So it's got all kinds of good facets that you got to use when you try to sell something. Put together your resume and say, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And it's all positive, not just for you and for paintball, but it would be positive for the city. It'd be positive for the, whoever you're talking to in that community to get stuff going like that. So
we will definitely take you up on that, Fred, for sure.
Yeah. The North Coast Council have approached us and they want an event up there. So we're in talks with them at the moment about doing a big event. The Pan Pacific Masters Games, that's an international Masters game. So basically anyone over 30 can go, and it's for any sport that wants to be there. We've been accepted twice into it, but cool. In both occasions we haven't been able to go because the first time we couldn't get a structure because our paintball markers are classed as weapons. For us to have it in a public place is a major issue. It has to be, really well netted and all that sort of stuff. But then on top of it, in a lot of public places, you're not allowed to use pegs or anything into the ground because they have piping under the ground for irrigation. Correct. So you can't peg anything into the ground. So trying to hold netting down is a nightmare. So the first time we had to drop out, and the second time we had a field down that had opened up in the Gold Coast. Because it's held at the Gold Coast every 2 years. It's actually on this year in November. That field shut down last year before the event came up. So it was supposed to be last year, but because of COVID, they've pushed it through to this year. I talked to Ryan, who runs the event. It's a government-backed event, so the government do give them a lot of funding and stuff. And he said, yeah, again, we're on board in there as soon as we get a structure that we can use. So
let me ask you this, Bones. You're talking about a structure you can use. How about the poles go up with a solid pole on the top and the bottom all the way around, and that's exactly what the netting would hook to. That way the structure wouldn't lean in or out. You couldn't make it 1,000 feet long, but you could make it big enough for exhibitions. Because we did an exhibition, Constant Pursuit, which was my team, and the Ironman. We did an exhibition at the Cow Palace at a boat show. So it had nothing to do with paintball whatsoever. And we set the netting up there, and it was just a massive hit. As a matter of fact, they started getting a little pissed because more people were out there watching paintball than in the boat show thing,
Yeah.
So, but and somebody put on the thing scaffolding. That would be another way to do it. But what I'm talking about is if you get a local field, so you don't have to put out any money or anything. You get these people that come out, because the more people, especially in the media, the more people in the media you guys get on board, the easier it's going to be to step up the ladder to do things. Because, all cities love the limelight. And if they're getting good limelight and they're getting good press, you're going to be a god. That's just how it's going to work. So, but I would love to help you guys. I've got a decent resume anyhow. And I go back and like that tournament you're talking about, you had to be over 30. Hell, I could enter that twice, huh, Bill?
Twice.
I'm not far off. I turned 54 yesterday.
You're almost your own team, Fred.
I am, that's what I tell everybody. I said, I've celebrated my 29th birthday 41 times. All right, guys, I've had these guys hanging in the green room for a long time. So first of all, I want to bring up Mr. Connor Bryant, and he's down there with you guys. What's going on, Connor?
There he is.
Hey, Connor, how you doing, buddy?
And everybody, this is Mr. Steve McGuire. He owns a paintball podcast, a known painball podcast up in.
One of these days you'll get it right.
I told these, I've been telling these guys, if you want to butcher a name, come on this show.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, he's up in Canada. He's got a great show up there. And so anyhow, have you been listening to all of this, right, Steve?
Yes, I have, and I actually have something to comment. If you talk to Sup Air, they are making inflatable playing areas for Jelly Ball. So, and these inflatable playing areas are 30 by 60, and it just inflates with a like a leaf blower, just the same way you would. And so you can actually, I'm assuming that if you talk to Sup Air, they'd be able to inflate or make a full size inflatable playing area. I mean, it would probably be a 3 for 3, but I'm sorry.
They already do.
Yeah. You know what? You can actually buy. You can go to the, like the surplus places, and you can buy these big, huge blow-up tents. Because we had one at the state fair up in Sacramento. We set up a shooting gallery inside of it, and it was cool as hell. And that's what you do. You use a leaf blower. 20 minutes, that baby was up and running, and it was huge.
Yeah, we actually do have a 3-man dome field now. Nathan from Cairns Paintball, he shut down and donated it to the APA. Definitely a big shout out to Nathan. He did a lot for paintball. Like, he used to take that dome field around to places that he was no way in the world going to make his money back by taking it there, but he still took it there to promote paintball. So he's moved up to Darwin now, which is like right out in the middle of the sticks. But he donated that field to us. So that's, we do actually have a dome field at the moment, which is a 3-man one. But I'm actually designing one at the moment and looking at getting it made, which is hopefully going to be a 5-man one. It'll be 20 meters wide by 40 meters long, with built-in players area on one side, built-in spectators area on the other side. So it's fully enclosed. There's only one entrance. You'll have a security guard sitting at the front. So if you don't have a player's tag on, you're sent to the spectator side. If you've got a player's tag on, you go around the other side. So it's all fully enclosed.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Weapons licensing, walk up, look at it and go, yep, tick, bang, because no paintballs will be able to get out. So yeah, we're in the process of doing all these things. It's just money is a big thing with us.
That's why I suggested using the fields, Bones, and calling, to get media people out there. That way it doesn't cost you nothing but, a few paintballs and a little bit of your time.
Yeah.
Because once you start doing that,
idea,
that's when the money stuff will start rolling. Hey, Bill, can you send Buddy an invite real quick?
Yeah.
I'd just like to point out how many people are saying how many people are saying hi to Connor and not a single person saying hi to me.
They
feelings are hurt. I just want to leave.
Hey, everybody.
Steve, they love you. Connor pays those people for that.
No,
Isn't it 20 something?
Yeah. I can't see everybody's comments, so like, hello to everybody that's saying good day. And
Yeah,
I'm currently sitting.
we got
on the-
Bud Orr, we've got Bonchick,
Oh.
we got Pete Russell, we got another Pete Russell. Oh, Pete Russell,
Dan
Gary.
Colby.
And then Bonchick
Yeah.
saying, "We love Connor."
Thanks, Bond.
Oh, but Dan Colby said hi to me. Thank you, Dan. One person out there likes me.
Yeah. Thanks
Oh,
for doing
sorry.
that, Dan. I appreciate that, Dan. Okay, no problem. You said that. Well, so-
I sent that message to Dan to have him call and tell them.
Oh, hey, Francis Swain's watching, guys. Everybody, none of you, I don't think really know Francis, but he's an up and coming star in paintball, and he was on the Hellhounds. We played against them in the World Cup, and this guy came to this tournament with 10 guys, and after the first day, 5 of them quit and went home. And these 5 guys stayed and played. Hey, Mr. Bud Orr.
Kevin Donaldson's watching
What's
too.
going
By
on,
the way,
brother?
Kevin?
Hey, little brother, what's up?
Not much, man. We got the guys from down under, and you're a celebrity. You know that, don't you?
No, not me. Not ever. I'm like everybody else.
We're not worthy. We're not
Yeah.
worthy.
I've been watching, man, and I'd really like to thank Peter and Bones and Connor. Naturally, he's my little brother too, and for coming on tonight, because it educates the U.S. on what's going over in Australia, and what they're going through is what we went through in the early days. So
Yep.
I think together we've got a lot of experience that we can share with them, either going over and sharing it or help them fight.
Yep.
You're not
Definitely
calling me
coming
old,
over.
are you, bud? You
Yeah.
calling me old? Well,
No, I'm going Neil.
I love you, brother. Bud, you and I talked about going over there.
Oh yeah, I'm going.
Oh yeah,
I
and
already told Connor I'm going.
yeah, you, Kathy, and Sherry and I. Oh yeah, we don't take the wives. You and I aren't going. Well, we could go, but I don't know if we could come back.
They might love it over there. They might find that nice little Aussie guy, good looking, like they all are.
oh, look at Connor. Oh, you just made him blush.
Oh yeah.
It's hot out here. I'm getting sunburnt. I haven't seen the outside for over a month now.
This is so awesome.
I appreciate you calling in, Bud, and saying hi to these guys, because I want to work as hard as I can to help them over there. And I think maybe with the experience you and I have and the resumes that we have, maybe we can be in touch with them, and they can put us in touch with people that could actually give them a boost to help them get up the ladder and make things a little easier for paintball over there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Anything we can do. I mean, we've got a lot of experience in that area, and we can call on a lot of good friends to help us. So, I mean, they're going through exactly what we did.
Oh yeah. I
Very much
remember
so.
that, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But love them guys, man. I mean, Australia is on my bucket list, so
We're gonna get there.
I got to get over there.
Yeah, we're gonna. Bill said he'd pay for our tickets, so I'm like, what the hell? We're on our way.
Thanks, Bill.
Oh,
You're a
you
good
should see
man.
Bill sweating right now. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. My bank says no.
Again, I really appreciate you guys coming on. It's just so awesome.
I love you, bud.
Love you. Love
Cheers,
them.
bud.
All right, brother. You stay safe.
Take care.
All right. Tell Kathy I said hi.
You bet.
All right.
Listen.
Okay. Bye bye. All right, everybody. That's
Bud, for your
Mr.
kind
Bud
words.
Orr.
That's really cool. Yeah, thanks, Bud.
That's
for your
excellent.
kind words.
Yeah,
That's really
no,
cool.
fantastic.
And we'll be
Yeah,
taking
okay.
you up on the offer for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
say,
we'd love you to all come over. And try, if you all can come over, we'll try and organise to do a bit of sightseeing in between. Playing the tournaments and just chatting and working stuff out. And maybe you go up to see the Barrier Reef or some of the islands, or to the beaches.
Yeah,
just
well,
all
Bud and I've been talking about it for a few months. So we are definitely looking forward to it. And we want to drag Billy over with us too, and maybe Steve. If we can get Steve on the plane over there. How big are you? 'Cause I
the
got a
moose
huge
has got to
suitcase.
come.
I got a huge suitcase we could put you in. So
It turns out all we need is a little yellow sticker, and Steve can come back from anywhere.
oh, you seen that on his passport, didn't you?
Yeah.
How dumb was that?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
There's
Come
3
in.
stickers now on the back of my passport. So when you come back, they go like this sticker, this sticker, this sticker, and it's on the outside. But there's
Unreal.
no COVID cards. I don't know if Bones and Peter know us. So I have to be fully vaccinated, and then I have to have a COVID test before I get on the plane to fly to the United States. Then I have to have a COVID test before I get on the plane to fly back to Canada. Then I have to get a COVID test when I get to Canada. So that's what I had to go through to get to the Iron City Classic on the weekend. Worth it, gotta say, absolutely worth it. Great time. Yeah. But getting a tree trunk stuffed up your nose 3 times in 6 days, not fun.
You love it. Come on.
No, but no, I really got to go see our good friend Caesar with the Nutella. And
let's start that again.
Right there it is. Right there, baby.
You know what was really cool was this. This is probably I got to meet Nikki Cuba, which was wicked, and I got to meet Rich Telford, which are big heroes of mine. But this is the big deal. Is this hat right here, and it's in memory of Dave Cilio of number 13 of the Master Blasters.
He just
and it was
away.
Yes,
for the guys in Australia and everybody else out there that didn't know Dave.
Well, in memory of is usually kind of a giveaway.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it said?
Yeah, but Rosie gave it to me right off his head, and I had Rosie and Kevin Donaldson sign it. And Kevin's this is my treasure from the weekend. So because it was so great to meet Rosie. I've chatted with him online a few times, but I don't really know him. We've crossed paths over the years. So
yeah,
he's
been my buddy for 30 years,
act.
Man. Yep, been my buddy for 30 years.
He shot the shit out of me for many years.
yeah. Rosie's a great guy. You know, Rosie was the head ref at Woodsball World Cup we were at in New York a couple months ago. You know, and like I say, Rosie, he's been a friend of mine for over 30 years. Him and Kevin both. You guys know Kevin Donaldson, right?
Yes.
I've met him once or twice.
Again, know of him, yeah.
Yeah, he's been on
that dude
on the thing. And Keith Kissel. What's going on, Keith?
Yeah.
Big guy. And Larry Taylor. Wow, that's pretty cool. Got a couple of people put their names on for a change. I like it. So, well, you know, Bud was talking, because him and I talked, like I said, a couple of months ago about coming over there. And, if there's anything that we can do to give you guys a hand over there, anybody that we could talk to, you guys ever hear of Tim Schloss used on Tiger Stripe Camouflage?
No.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Tiger Stripe Camouflage.
Yeah.
How many times do you have to thank him at the beginning of the show?
Everything's good. You got a great show going.
Yeah, I got some good guys on here, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was calling in to give them a little piece of history.
Uh-oh.
The first time the Australians came to this country, they came over and played with me at Bushwhackers in October of 1991. It was the Regulators.
Regulators,
yeah. And Ross Alexander came down, brought them their semi-automatics, and from there they went to the Masters and played.
There you go. Hey, Tim, when did we go over to England the first time?
90.
Was it 90?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 1990.
Yeah, that was
Tim. I think one of the regulators, one of the regulators you would have played with.
Times, but that was the best time of my life. But we need to go to Australia. I mean, they've been over here a couple of times. We had a couple of teams we sponsored from over there. We had Guelph had a team called Heat that we sponsored, and then the Regulators. I think that one of the guys that they flew over and we entertained them for about 3 or 4 days here in St. Louis, and from here they went to the Masters, and it was the first big tournament that they, international tournament that they'd been to, and they were really a great bunch of guys.
Well, Bud and I are talking about going over there. You and Terry in?
I'll go if you go. I'll go anywhere you go.
Oh, you're
You and Bud or any, you know.
you're the man.
I'm in.
Okay.
You know, if there's anything I can do to help those guys, I mean, I don't know what we can do from this end. I mean, you know, but you know.
Well, we can talk. I mean, we got some good resumes here, buddy.
My God, can you guys talk?
Well, no, not just me. You do, not just me. You do too. Bud does.
Nadella.
You guys aren't you in the Paintball Hall of Fame? Well, hell yeah, you are.
Bud's done a thing or two, you know.
Yeah, I think we all have, and some of it we can actually talk about, huh?
Yeah. I just said, man, I bet I don't know if they knew what their history was here in the country, but I was gonna share it with them.
Well, I appreciate that, Tim. That is very, very cool.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Hey, get back to them, and I'll talk to you this week.
All right, you stay safe, brother.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Didn't Tim set up a camera and everything so he can actually be on the podcast? Is that just calling in?
Well, let me tell you, Tim Schloss, he had tiger stripe camouflage, okay? I don't know, Bones, if you know Tim Schloss, but
I've heard the name, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great, great guy. Matter of fact, when I give my shout outs, he's the first one off the top because he just made such an influence on me. Him and Dan Colby and Bud Orr, they're just like the best of the best. That's all I can say. But
Fred, funny. Sorry, Fred, just interrupting there because Tim just mentioned the regulators when they came over to the event. Well, strangely enough, one of the guys on the regulators that came over in '91, I believe, and I'm sure I got my dates right, is a guy I still play, but who still plays on my team now, which is a Neil Martin. We call each other brothers, but not really. But Neil Martin was one of those guys that went over and met with Tim and did all that. And we were having the conversation just a few months ago about that particular trip. So, yeah, very cool. So, Tim, I don't know whether you still remember Neil or Neil Martin, but he will definitely say hi.
Oh, very, very cool. Yeah, I met all you guys because I was there wasn't a tournament that didn't happen back in the day. I wasn't there. I had constant pursuit there all the time. Here we go. Tim Schloss, forgot to say goodbye. Hey, didn't I just talk to you?
No.
Okay.
Neil Martin did play with us, and he came over and he played at another Masters with me like 2 years later. He's a great kid.
That's right.
Or was a great kid. Now he's playing
still is. He still plays with me now.
He's a good guy.
Hell, he's still a kid if he's only 45.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Tell him I said hi.
I definitely will. And he'd definitely say hi back because he talks about you for sure. Very cool.
There?
Yeah, still here. Oh, we're listening. I'm listening to you.
No, I lost you here. No, that's just if he sees him, tell Mr. Martin if he sees him to give him a shout and tell him I think about him all the time. I still got a bunch of pictures of him here in our albums.
Right on. Yeah, Tim, you got everything there, buddy.
Everything but a camera so I can come on.
Oh, you heard? Yeah. You heard Steve.
In the magazines with a line through his eyes so they can't identify him. I don't want anybody knowing who I am.
Yeah.
Everyone wants free shit again.
I was just getting ready to tell all the viewers too that you got your camera and you got it all set up, but you haven't come on yet.
I know. Well, I just got all the new internet lines put into the house, so I got something where I'm not going to be choppy like the last time. So, next couple of weeks. It's not a real high priority right now.
Yeah. But we would love to have you on.
I hear him talking, but I hear.
Hey, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I'll just say that's the name.
Yeah, not a problem.
No,
You call me anytime. You know better than that.
See you, man.
All right, brother. Bye. One more time, Mr. Tim Schloss.
Once more with feeling.
I got to tell you, Bones and Peter, I got the best friends in the world in this sport. Let me tell you, I get the calls from some of the best people out there. Yeah, absolutely love them. But see, even Tim said that he would jump in. Anything that if you need us to write some letters, if you need me to make a phone call over there to talk to somebody, let me know. Bud, Tim, and I. More, and I'm sure Dan Colby, Danny's watching too, more than happy to help.
No, that'd be fantastic. Thank you very much.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Right on. This is Keith Kissel calling. Well, everybody's calling me tonight. Holy smokes, but I'm at my 8 o'clock hour here, guys.
Would have been longer if you didn't monologue so much. Just saying.
Why did I know that was coming, man? I love it. Steve, I appreciate a lot you hanging out and coming on tonight. I appreciate.
Watch how fast he kicks me now.
No, I'm not. No, I'm gonna kick Connor off first. No, I appreciate it very much. I appreciate all you guys coming on tonight. This was a very, very not just an entertaining show, but this was a very informative show, and that's something I really like to get out to the viewers. Because we all know what's going on here, but I don't know what's going on out in Canada. I didn't know what was going on at the ICC where Steve was just at. I don't know what's going on. Everything in Australia. So having all you guys on tonight, and I'm sure all the viewers, I'm sure we're going to get some good views off this week. It was just terrific, and I can't tell you guys how much I really appreciate this tonight.
No, thank you very much for having us on. Really appreciated it too.
Yeah, I do. Bones, I'm going to start with you. I am going to let you say goodbye to everybody. Oh, we just lost Connor.
That made life easy.
Yeah. He'll come back. I know how Connor is. He's got to take a bathroom break. So Bones, if there's anything that I can help you with over there with your organization, because I believe in your organization. I think your organization is great, and Budor says for sure. And I just want you to we're on Facebook now. So please do not hesitate to get a hold of me. If there's anything that you think I can do to give you guys a hand over there, I want you to do it. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to say goodbye to everybody, and mention if you have a site or anything, go ahead and mention that.
Yep. Okay. The site's paintball.org.au. So yeah, if you want to go and check it out, it's still getting refixed. We had moved hosting and stuff, and we're redoing the site to make it look a lot better. Yeah, definitely a big shout out to Paintball Pete. He sponsored me personally for quite a few years, and then sponsored my team Blade, or our team, because Pete and I were on the original Blade team. Yeah, just paintball players in general. Like, I love the sport. That's why I'm at rehab now, trying to fix my knee so I don't have to get a knee replacement, so I can go and stuff it up more while I play. They really look at me funny when I come back after a weekend of paintball, and they're going, "You're coming here for rehab, but you're going and tearing it apart again." It's like, oh, well.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, just like I told Bill, I'm working on a new paintball vest that has wheels, so when I fall, I can slide into the bunker anyhow.
Yeah. Well, I'll be in for that, because every time I go and play, I'm always getting the joke about, "Oh, where's your wheelchair, Bones?" and all the rest of it. So.
I get that. Believe me.
If you get the chance, go online, check out HydraFit knee pads. They're really relatively new. I was just checking them out at ICC. They actually fit more like a knee brace, or like a knee support. And then they've got some padding on it as well. They're absolutely fantastic. Andy grabbed a pair, and he was wearing them all weekend long because it helps his knees, because he was supposed to be wearing a brace. It's called HydraFit.
Okay. Yep.
Reach out to me after the show as well. But they were just fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. No, it's great. Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
All right, Bones. I appreciate very much you taking time. I know you had to go out to your car, and I know you were busy, so I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time to come on tonight.
No, thank you very much for having me. I really do appreciate it, and we'll definitely get you out here. Whoever wants to come out, it'd be an absolute pleasure to meet all you guys and have you come out and play and enjoy our land, and the water over here is brilliant. That's great. Our beaches and everything. So yeah, it'd be fantastic to have you over here.
I'd love it. And I want to have you guys back on again, maybe in about 4 weeks, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be great.
Okay, terrific. All right, Bones. His real name is really Brian DeHare, but Bones is what everybody knows him by, so Bones it is. All right, Bones, you have a very good evening. And again, thank you so much for being on tonight.
Thanks, guys. Nice to meet you all.
Okay.
See you later.
All right, you take it easy. All right, everybody. Let me see here if I can do this. Peter, you're up next, buddy.
Again, look, thank you very much for having us on the show. Although it was very, very funny back then. We were talking about at the beginning of the show when we started paintball, and one of the old sponsors. We used to be sponsored by Smart Parts all the time, but back then you used to look at those sponsors and say, "I really want to be sponsored by these guys. I really want to be sponsored by these guys." Like, and now I just want to be sponsored by Voltaren because I spend so much of it on my knees and my back and my neck. So any sponsorships from Voltaren would be happily welcome. But no, look, I'd like to thank you guys. It's been an amazing time. It's great to speak to you guys and great to see some of the absolute legends of this sport listening in. And I'd just like to thank everybody in Australia. There are so many people in Australia. Yes, we're running the Australian Paintball Association, but there's so many other people out there doing so many good things for the sport. There's a lot of content out there and podcasts and the Fields running tournament. So yeah, I'd like to thank everybody and just let you know that we're working as hard as we can to do better things for the sport.
Well, I want to give you a hand. I want to give you a hand. Do me a favor, push Flagpole Productions over there. Tell people to tune in and watch it.
We'll do, for sure.
Yeah, and I would like to throw out an invitation to you to have you back on in about 4 weeks, if it's okay with you.
I'd love to. Absolutely love to. It's been great.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight.
I really, really did. Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right. You have a good evening.
Great meeting you.
And you.
All right. All right, everybody. That was Mr. Peter Martin, the Vice President of the Australian Paintball Association, along with the President, Mr. Brian DeHare Bones. I got to call him by that. So what a great bunch, huh, Steve and Bill?
Absolutely. Fantastic.
I want to point something out. You have been on all this time, and Bill has not said one damn thing about maple syrup or bacon. Did you notice that?
He didn't have the chance because you didn't bring me in till like 45, 50 minutes into the show because you monologued for so long. Then you had everybody in. You didn't even need me for this show. I'm happy to be here. Love being here.
I wanted you. Oh, no, absolutely. No, I never need you. Unless my computer screws up, obviously.
You're the first person you call.
Before the show, too. I'm talking. I look like an old Bruce. What the heck is his name? Bruce. He used to talk, and then you'd hear the sound. Well, that's what my audio was like. And I call Steve up. I go. I'm watching myself talk. He says it's got such a lag. So anyhow, yeah, he
like a kung fu movie.
That's the way. Yeah, Bruce Lee. God.
Bruce Lee.
Were these guys great though? Was Brian and Peter good to have on?
In all honesty, you didn't even need me at this show. Like they were such great. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I wanted you to get to meet them and everything, and get them to meet you, and so yeah, that's why. So. On that note, seeing you're being so mean to me,
Steve, play with passion, everybody.
I do appreciate
Steve, you do need to go to Australia. That would be awesome because
I would love to go to Australia.
Yeah. Hey, and everybody. Oh, go ahead, Bill.
I want to go just so I have an excuse to wear my mankini.
Oh no, not the Speedo. Not the Speedo. Oh my God!
I'm having Borat issues, and I'm not liking them at all.
It's a Speedo thing. Oh my God! He puts them on, and it looks like tonsils. But anyhow,
we're like Sasquatch.
Oh my God! Hey, real quick, that's Steve's new shirt. Show me your new shirt, Steve.
Oh yeah, these are just for my Patreon supporters. What's really cool about it is, you guys know if you're familiar with the Gucci pattern, Intensity made this for me. So instead of split G's, it's like little hands.
Yep, looks good.
Sweet.
Right on, Steve. All right, Steve.
Only about 15 of these were made, and there'll never be any more.
Yeah, and I'll probably never get one, but what the hell.
Can they make
I haven't got my Stronghold shirt yet.
I got them sitting right here, baby. I'm wearing it right here.
Exactly. They're not here.
Actually, I'm wearing yours.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, because I don't want to wear mine out.
Pay back for what I did for violating your jacket that Bill now owns.
Wait till he sends it to me so I can get even, Steve.
Oh yeah. Hey, Steve, you have a good evening, buddy.
All right, play with passion, everybody. I'll catch you all tomorrow.
All right. Bye now. All right, that's Mr. Steve McGuire. Unknown Paintball Podcast. Steve will be on tomorrow night. Steve's on Wednesday at 6 o'clock Eastern, no, 6 o'clock Western time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. So, Bill, what a great group tonight. You know what? I mean,
it's awesome hearing about this stuff, going in on Australia. It just reminds me of 1987. It's
yeah, I know, and they were so fluent with what they talked about. There was no guesswork. When Peter was talking, he knew exactly what he wanted to say. In the same way with Brian,
Yeah.
and Steve's trained, so Steve always knows what he's talking about. Well, most of the time. Steve knows what he's talking about. So, but anyhow,
gravy,
yeah. Oh
maple
my God,
syrup.
that guy can tell you what's in that recipe. That's what's said.
Yeah.
So I mean, he loves it. So, Bill, it was a pretty good show tonight, buddy.
It was real good.
It really was. Next week, Bill, we're having Mark Gong and Michael Beard and Eric and Hunter Portillo. We're going to talk some more Young Gun stuff.
Oh, that's
next
cool.
week. So it should be pretty cool. Hey, Bud, Bud said great show. You have a great evening. And Bud, thank you so much for calling in tonight. That was cool as hell. Period. Love it. I love all our audience, Billy. I really do.
It's paintball. It's great.
It is. It is.
I do have a shout out for of course Monte Casino, September 10th through the 12th.
Yep.
This Thursday, they're going to be doing a giveaway. They're going to be giving away 3 posters that are autographed by Dan Colby and Bud. And for all you got to do is jump on their site on the Monte Casino Facebook page, put down how many years you've been playing paintball, and you'll be entered. They're just going to do a random drawing for 3 people to win these. And then the other thing, a couple weeks ago, Randy Baxter, which anybody that used to play the indoor championships down in Tennessee, he's also a writer, and he's got 2 awesome books out. If you like war stories, these are actual interviews. He actually went and interviewed these people themselves.
Yep, he did. He's a good guy.
He writes just like the people talk, and it's an awesome. They're awesome books. So if you get a chance, he's got I don't remember what his he's got a page, internet page.
I don't either. He sent me an autographed copy, but I can't remember. But if they just get on and look up Randy Baxter on Facebook, they'll find him.
Yeah, they'll find him.
They'll just do that. And real quick, the posters from Monte Casino, they'll be able to purchase those also at Monte Casino. Am I correct?
Yes, there's very limited. They won't have very many of them, and they usually offer them up as prizes and awards. So they will have some, but not a lot.
Got it. So. Hey, I'm going to say hi one more time to Mr. Francis Swain. You remember Francis, the Hellhounds?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This kid's an up-and-coming star, period. I'm going to make him an up-and-coming star because I like his attitude and I like the way he presents himself for paintball.
Yep. I hope him and his team are there next year.
Yeah. Oh, they'll be there. Oh, God, hell yeah, they'll be there. And Ryan Courtney, he's a terrific person. Yeah. I love our people. So, all right, everybody, you guys hang tight in the green room. I'm going to say my goodbyes real quick, and then I'll pull you guys back up and we'll chat a little bit.
All righty.
All right.
See ya.
All right. Everybody, that was my co-host, Mr. William Bailey. Terrific person. I want to thank everybody we had on here tonight. I was excited about the show tonight. I was excited to have all the Aussies on and to have Peter Martin on. Peter is now an Aussie. He's a transplant, but he's still an Aussie now. He's been there for 10 years. That qualifies, I mean, these guys were great. And the Australian Paintball Association, I just hope that we can help them. I hope that we can get them up and running. I hope that maybe we can get them some free publicity over there and make everything work. I just like to build paintball everywhere we go. And I'm going to work on that. And Francis Swain, one more time, I'm going to say good evening because, kid, I really like you. You made an extremely good impression on me. I got to tell you. Very, very great person. All right, everybody. It was a great show. I appreciate everybody watching tonight. Remember, next week, we are going to have on Mr. Mark Gong, Mr. Michael Beard. They're from the They have the Young Guns, the Herman's team, a spinoff of the OG Ironman. And also, we are going to have Eric and Hunter Portillo on. Their dad has a great paintball field, and he's a great guy. He doesn't come on shows much. I had him on one time. He doesn't do anybody else's show, so I felt pretty privileged. But his kids are great, and I'm looking forward so much to having them on. So everybody, until next Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock Pacific time on Facebook, please watch Flagpole Productions. So until then, please play hard, play safe, play fair, but get out there and play paintball. All right?